Ram Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जय मुदीरे। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की
जय।
जय। बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा हरे
हरे कृष्णा।
कृष्णा जय
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा। निशा कैसे हो?
बिल्कुल ठीक।
बैठा जो अनिल जी ज्वाइन नहीं करे, जनरली इज देयर। कोई नहीं, विल गेट स्टार्टेड। तो कल हम लोगों ने नाइन्थ अध्याय शुरू किया ऑफ द 9th कैंटो। एंड जैसा कि हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, व्यवस्वत मनु के डिसेंडेंट्स इक्ष्वाकु और फिर सारे डिसेंडेंट्स होके हम सगर महाराज के बारे में पढ़ रहे थे। देन वी रेड अबाउट इट्स सन, राइट, एंड द खांडवा महाराजा is what we are reading about now, right? And we read a lot of nice conversations and how things have happened so far, right, in different rulings of different big kingdoms also, right, and how they were devoted to the Supreme Lord as well. तो हम लोग कल 45th श्लोक पढ़ रहे थे, which was like the demigods, the directors of the three worlds, wanted to give me, and who is me here is the Khandvat Maharaj. Yeah. So the Khandvat Maharaj, he fought with demons and helped the Devatas. So because Devataon ko help kare, so Devatas wanted to give him the benediction, like whatever he needs, wanted to give me whatever benediction I desired. I did not want their benedictions. However, because I am interested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created everything in this material world, I am more interested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead than in all material benedictions. So this is what Khandvat Maharaj says, saying like Deve hai kam varo datto, like they wanted to give any kind of word, benedictions. Yeah, Maham Tri Bhuvaneshware, right? Those are the Devatas, right? They are the protectors of all the three worlds. They wanted to give any benediction to Khandvat Maharaj, but he says, Na vrine tam aham kamam. He didn't want any of those benedictions because any kind of benediction would have been in the materialistic world. Yeah. So he was more interested in Bhut Bhavan Bhavana, says that I'm more interested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead than in all material benedictions, is what Khandvat Maharaj mentioned. Yeah. And then we'll start reading from Shlok 46, Anisha.
ये विक्षिप्त इंद्रिय यधियो देवास्ते स्वहृदि स्थितं न विन्दति प्रियं शश्वदात्मानं किमुता परे. Even though the demigods have the advantages of being situated in the higher planetary system, their minds, senses, and intelligence are agitated by material conditions. Therefore, even such elevated persons fail to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally situated in the core of the heart. What then is to be said of others, such as human beings, who have fewer advantages? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So very interestingly, like Sukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj that even though the demigods, Devatas, right, says Vikshipte Indriya Dhyo, Devaste, Swaridhi Sthitam, like the Devatas who have so many advantages being in the higher planetary system, right? Because there is a Devlok, right? They don't have any kind of diseases and things like that, longer age, durations, all those things. They have advantages of being situated in the higher planetary systems. Still, their minds, senses, and intelligence are agitated by material conditions. So even though they are in the higher planets, they still get agitated by material conditions. And so what is being mentioned is even those elevated persons, right, like even Devatas, they find it so difficult. They fail to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what Sukdev Goswami is saying is like Sashat Atmanam ki mutapare is like what is then said to be of others, such as human beings, like people like us, who are just surrounded by only the materialistic conditions all the time. We have fewer advantages. How difficult it is for us to be eternally situated is what is being mentioned here. Very nice purport. Let's read this, Ajay.
Sure. It is a fact that Supreme Personality of Godhead always situated in everyone's heart. Ishwar Sarva Bhutanam Hridaya se Arjun Tishtati. But because of our material anxieties, which are inevitable in this material world, we cannot understand the Supreme Lord, although He is situated so near to us. For those always agitated by material conditions, the yogic process is recommended so that one may concentrate his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the heart. Dhyan Vasishtha Tad Gaten Manas Pashyanti Yam Yogina. Because in material condition, the mind and senses are always agitated by the yogic procedures like dharana, asana, and dhyan. One must quiet the mind and concentrate it upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what is mentioned is, first of all, what is mentioned is from Bhagavad Gita, right? Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, meaning all living entities. Ishwar is there where? Hrideshe Arjun Tishtati. In the heart of every living entity, like within all of us, right? Supreme Lord is there. Supreme Personality of Godhead is always there. He is always situated there. But because we are so conditioned, we are not able to recognize him. We cannot understand the Supreme Lord, right? And that's why the devotional process is recommended. And what is also being mentioned is if you do dhyan, asana, all that, you can and try to focus on Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rinaji?
In other words, the yogic process is a material attempt to realize the Lord, whereas bhakti, devotional service, is the spiritual process by which to realize Him. Maharaj Khatwanga accepted the spiritual path and therefore he was no longer interested in anything material. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18.55, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by devotional service can I be understood. One can understand Krishna, the Parabrahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only through devotional service. The Lord never says that one can understand Him by performing mystic yoga or by philosophically speculating. Bhakti is above all such material attempts. Anya Bhilashita Sunayam Jana Jnana Karmadhyan Vratam. Bhakti is uncontaminated, being unalloyed even by Gyan or pious activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One very important part which is mentioned here is that the yogic process is a material attempt. Like all the things, like even doing asana, yoga, mudra, dhyan mudra, is a material attempt to realize the Lord, right? People who go through austerity and things like that is a material attempt, whereas bhakti, the devotional service, right, is the spiritual process by which to realize, yeah, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the difference between the yogas and the bhakti. And Of course, Lord Krishna himself is saying, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Only the devotional, only the bhakts can really understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. That's why bhakti is so important, and that we know, right, the 9 processes of devotional service. Yeah? Hare Krishna, Tarun.
Hare Krishna. Athesa maya rachitesu sangham guneshu gandharva puro parmeshu rudram prakriyatat atmi vishwakartur bhavena hitva tam yaham parapadye. Therefore, I should now give up my attachment for things created by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I should engage in thought of the Lord and should thus surrender unto Him. This material creation, having been created by the external energy of the Lord, is like an imaginary town visualized on a hill or in a forest. Every conditioned soul has a natural attraction and attachment for material things, but one must simply give up this attachment and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So what is being mentioned, therefore, I should now give up my attachment for things created by external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is saying this? Who is saying this, right? So we are reading about Khandvat Maharaj, yeah? The Khandvat Maharaj, he helped Devatas win the war against demons. And so Devatas wanted to give him any kind of benediction, right? Any kind of benediction he wanted. But he's saying that I don't want any materialistic benediction, right? Those are of no use to me. What I really need is the surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what we are reading about Khandvat Maharaj. He's saying that so he's saying, Athe Shamayar Chiteshu Sangam, Guneshu Gandharva Puropameshu. Yeah. What he's saying is essentially all those attachments I want to give up, which are created by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what he really wants to do is engage in the thought of Lord and should thus surrender unto him. Bharvena hitva tamham prapadde. And that's what he is surrendering unto Supreme. And what is the means of surrender? Like, what do we say when we surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What does that really mean? How do you surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
One of the 9
Right.
methods.
Right. By doing the devotional service, that's the surrender. Surrender means you're doing the devotional service. And as Prem said, devotional service we can do 9 different ways. What are those 9 different ways?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Patsevanam,
Dasyam.
Dasyam,
Sakhyam.
Sakyam,
Satyam, no?
Atmanivedanam.
Vishnu.
Atmanivedanam, Vishnu Smaranam, right?
Yeah.
So, and we have seen the different examples of the biggest devotees doing those kind of devotional service. Again, a very nice purpose. So let's read this. Prem?
When passing through a mountainous region in an airplane, one may sometimes see a city in the sky with towers and palaces, or one may see similar things in a big forest. This is called Gandharvapura, a phantasmagoria. This entire world resembles such a phantasmagoria, and every materially situated person has an attachment for it. But Katvagna Maharaj, because of his advanced Krishna consciousness, was not interested in such things. Even though a devotee may engage in apparently materialistic activities, he knows his position very well. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. If one engages all material things in relation with the loving service of the Lord, one is situated in Yukta Vairagya, proper renunciation. In this material world, nothing should be accepted for one's sense gratification. Everything should be accepted for the service of the Lord. This is the mentality of the spiritual world. Maharaj Khatvagna advises that one should give up material attachments and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Sachin?
Hare Krishna. Thus one achieves success in life. This is pure Bhakti Yoga, which involves Vairagya Vidya, renunciation and knowledge. Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shikshartham Ekah Purusha Purnaha, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Saridhari Kripa Buddhir Yastam Aham Prapadye. Let me surrender unto the personality of Godhead who has appeared now as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the ocean of all mercy and has come down to teach us material detachment, learning, and devotional service to himself. Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka 6.74. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated this movement of Vairagya Vidya by which one detaches himself from material existence and engages in the loving devotional service. The Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service is the only process by which to counteract our false prestige in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Iti vyavsito buddhya narayan grihitaya hitvanya bhavam ajnanam tatah swambhavam astita. Thus Maharaj Khatwang, by his advanced intelligence in rendering service to the Lord, gave up false identification with the body full of ignorance. In his original position of eternal servitorship, he engaged himself in rendering service to the Lord. Swam Bhavam Astita. Yeah, and he started rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says that when one actually becomes purely Krishna conscious, no one has any right to rule over him. When situated in Krishna consciousness, one is no longer in the darkness of ignorance. And when freed from all such darkness, one is situated in his original position. Jivera Swarup Haya Krishnera Nitya Dasa. The living entity is eternally the servant of the Lord. And thus, when he engages himself in the service of the Lord in all respects, he enjoys the perfection of life. Hare Krishna. Nisha.
यत् तद ब्रह्म परम सूक्ष्मं शून्यं शून्यकल्पितं भगवान् वासुदेवेति यं गृह्णन्ति हि सात्वताः. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudev, Krishna, is extremely difficult to understand for unintelligent men who accept him as impersonal or void, which he is not. The Lord is therefore understood and sung about by pure devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What is mentioned, the Lord is understood and sung about, right? Katha करते हैं उनकी, कीर्तन करते हैं, जाप करते हैं, chanting करते हैं. Yeah. Bhagwan Vasudeviti yam grinanti hi satvata. Yeah. The Lord is therefore understood and sung about by pure devotees. A nice purpose. Read this, Ajay.
As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam adavayam brahmeti param deti bhagwan iti sabdyate. The absolute truth is realized in three phases as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. Bhagwan is the origin of everything. Brahman is the partial representation of Bhagwan and Vasudev. The super soul living everywhere and in everyone's heart is also an advanced realization of Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when one comes to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, when one realizes that Vasudev is both Paramatma and the impersonal Brahman, he is then in perfect knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pavan?
Krishna is therefore described by Arjuna as Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. The words Param Brahma refer to the shelter of the impersonal Brahman and also of the all-pervading Supersoul. When Krishna says, Tvaktva Deham Punar Janma neti mameti. This means that the perfect devotee, after perfect realization, returns home back to Godhead. Maharaj Khatwanga accepted the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and because of his full surrender, he achieved perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So this is what Maharaj Khatwang was, right? He's the son of Sagar Maharaj. And Sagar Maharaj, of course, we saw Mandata Maharaj, and then how the whole dynasty of Vivasvat Manu is being described, right? And thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 9th canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Dynasty of Anshuman. Yeah. So Khandvat Maharaj is the son of Anshuman Maharaj. Yeah, Anshuman Maharaj was the son of Sagar Maharaj. And we read about Sagar Maharaj's story and so on, right? So, follow Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So, we'll continue reading this 10th chapter, and the 10th chapter is about the pastimes of the Supreme Lord Rāmacandra. Yeah. So, what we are going to read now is about the Lord Sri Ram, and a lot of it we already know, right? By reading Ramayana and all that. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's described in brief. Yeah. So we'll start with Shlok 1. Rinaji?
जी श्रीशुक उवाच खड्वाङ्गात् दीर्घबाहुश्च रघुस्तस्मात् पृथुश्रवाः अजस्ततो महाराजस्तस्माद् दशरथो अभवत्. Sukdev Goswami said, the son of Maharaj Khadwang was Dirgh Bahu, and his son was the celebrated Maharaj Raghu. From Maharaj Raghu came Aja, and from Aja was born the great personality of Maharaj Dashrath. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. No? So Sukdev Goswami said, and whom Sukdev Goswami is saying to?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj, right? Sukdev Goswami is reciting this whole Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, right? Okay.
तस्यापि भगवानेश साक्षात् ब्रह्मो हरि अंशाशेन चतुर्धागात् पुत्रत्वात् प्रार्थित सुरे Ram Lakshman Bharat Satrughna iti Sanjaya. Being prayed for by the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth Himself, directly appeared for His expansion and expansions of the expansion. Their holy names were Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Satrughan. These celebrated incarnations that thus appeared in four forms as the sons of Maharaj Dashrath. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is the Bhagavanesha Sakshat Brahmamayo Hari. Yeah. That he appeared as Chaturdhagat, right? That's Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan. They appeared is what Sukdev Goswami is mentioning. Sachin?
Lord Ramacandra and his brothers, Lakshmana, Bharat, and Shatrugna, are all Vishnu Tattva, not Jiva Tattva. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands into many, many forms, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Although they are one and the same, Vishnu Tattva has many forms and incarnations. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.39, Ramadi Murtisu Kala Niyamena Tishthan. The Lord is situated in many forms, such as Ram, Lakshmana, Bharat, and Shatrugna, and these forms may exist in any part of His creation. All these forms exist permanently, eternally, as individual personalities of Godhead, and they resemble many candles, all equally powerful. Lord Ramacandra, Lakshmana, Bharat, and Shatrugna, who being Vishnu Tattva are all equally powerful, became the sons of Maharaj Dashrath in response to prayers by the demigods. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tasyanucharitam Raja Rishi Vistatvada Rishi Bhi Shrutam Hi Varnitam Bhuri Tvaya Sita Pate Muhu. O King Parikshit, the transcendental activities of Lord Ramacandra have been described by great saintly persons who have seen the truth. Because you have heard again and again about Lord Ramacandra, the husband of Mother Sita, I shall describe these activities only in brief. Please listen. Yeah. So Sukdev Goswami is describing this in a brief summary. Nisha?
Modern Rakshasas posing as educationally advanced merely because they have doctorates have tried to prove the Lord Ramacandra is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead but an ordinary person. But those who are learned and spiritually advanced will never accept such notions. They will accept the descriptions of Lord Ramacandra and his activities only as presented by Tattvadarshis, those who know the absolute truth. In Bhagavad Gita 4.34, the Supreme Personality of Godhead advises Tad Vidhi Pranapatena परिप्रसेनेन सेवाय उपद उपदे उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from his submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Unless one is Tattvadarshi in complete knowledge of the absolute truth, one cannot describe the activities of the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is mentioned here is very important, right? Like basically all the people who are educationally advanced, they call themselves intellectual and claim so many things, and they will say, oh, Lord Ram was just a person, right? He was just a king, things like that. But what is being mentioned is people who are actually spiritually advanced, they are the ones who know who Lord Ramchandra was, right? And who Lord Ramchandra is. And what is being mentioned is the self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he had seen the truth. And uh, just being a intellectual is not sufficient, is what is mentioned here. Yeah. Let's continue reading this. Ajay?
Therefore, although there are many so-called Ramayanas or histories of Lord Ramchandra's activity, some of them are not actually authoritative. Sometimes Lord Ramchandra's activities are described in terms of one's own imagination, speculations, or material sentiments. But the characteristics of Lord Ramchandra should not be handled as something imaginary. While describing the history of Lord Ramchandra, Sukdev Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit, "You have already heard about the activities of Lord Ramchandra. Apparently, therefore, 5,000 years ago, there were many Ramayanas or histories of Lord Ramchandra's activity, and there are many still, but we must select only those books written by Tattvadarshis, Gyaninas Tattva Darsana, not the books of so-called scholars who claims knowledge only on the basis of a doctorate." This is a wording by Sukdev Goswami. Visbhis Tattva Darsibhe. Although the Ramayana composed by Valmiki is a huge literature, the same activities are summarized here by Sukdev Goswami in a few verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But what is important here is so many people writing commentary on Ramayana and all that, calling themselves scholars, right? Intellectuals, having a doctorate degree, that all doesn't matter. The people who are Tattvadarshis, yeah, those are the people who have like seen, who understands the spiritual activities, and those are the ones we should listen to and read about. Um, Hare Krishna, Anilji.
हरे कृष्ण गजेन जी। गुरुवृथे त्यक्त राज्यो विचर धनुवम पद्म पद्मा पदभ्या प्रियायाः पाणिस्पर्शाक्ष्माभ्याम मृजित पथरुजो यो हरीन्द्रानुजाभ्याम वैरूप्याक्षु अर्पणाख्याः प्रिय विरह रुषारोपित भ्रुविज्र त्रस्ताब्धिर्वृद्ध सेतुः खल बदनः बदहनः कौशलेन्द्रो अवतात्रः. To keep the promise of his father intact, Lord Ramacandra immediately gave up the position of king and, accompanied by his wife Mother Sita, wandered from one forest to another on his lotus feet, which were so delicate that they were unable to bear even the touch of Sita's palms. The Lord was also accompanied by Hanuman, or by another monkey, Sugriva, king of the monkeys, and by his own younger brother, Lord Lakshmana, both of whom gave him relief from the fatigue of wandering in the forest. Having cut off the nose and ears of Surpanakha, thus disfiguring her, Lord was separated from Mother Sita. He therefore became angry, moving his eyebrows and thus frightening the ocean, who then allowed the Lord to construct a bridge to cross the ocean. Subsequently, the Lord entered the kingdom of Ravana to kill him, like a fire devouring a forest. May that Supreme Lord Ramachandra give us all protection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Sukdev Goswami is describing in brief, and it says here, Pani Isparsha Kshamabhyam Vrijita Patharujo. Like basically what it's saying is the feet of the Lord Ramchandra is so komal, right? So komal, that so delicate, yeah, that they were unable to bear even the touch of Sita Mata's palms, right? That's how the Lord Ramchandra's lotus feet is described, yeah. And then of course in a summary, also Ramayana is pretty much summarized here, right, by Sukdev Goswami. Rinaji?
विश्वामित्रा ध्वरे येन मारीचाद्या निशाचरा पश्यतो लक्ष्मणस्यैव हता नैरितपुङ्गवा. In the arena of the sacrifice performed by Vishwamitra, Lord Ramchandra, the king of Ayodhya, killed many demons, rakshasas, and uncivilized men who wandered at night in the mode of darkness. May Lord Ramchandra, who killed these demons in the presence of Lakshman, be kind enough to give us protection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sachin?
यो लोकवीर समितो धनुरैश्च मुग्रं सीता स्वयंवर गृहे त्रिशतोपनीतम् अदाय बाल गजलील इवेक्षुयष्टिं सज्जयीकृतं रूप विकृष्य बभज मध्ये जित्वानुरूप गुणशील वयो अंगरूपां सीताभिधां श्रीयमुरस्य लब्धमानां मार्गे व्रजन् भृगुपतेर्व्यनयत् प्ररूढं दर्पं महीं कृत यस्त्रीरराज बीजाम्. O king, the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra were wonderful, like those of a baby elephant. In the assembly where Mother Sita was to choose her husband, in the midst of the heroes of this world, he broke the bow of belonging to Lord Shiva. This bow was so heavy that it was carried by 300 men. But Lord Ramchandra bent and strung it and broke it in the middle, just as a baby elephant breaks a stick of sugarcane. Thus the Lord achieved the hand of Mother Sita, who was equally as endowed with transcendental qualities of form, beauty, behavior, age, and nature. Indeed, she was the goddess of fortune who constantly rests on the chest of the world. While returning from Sita's home after gaining her at the assembly of competitors, Lord Ramchandra met Parshuram. Although Parshuram was very proud, having rid the earth of the royal order 21 times, he was defeated by the Lord, who appeared to be a Kshatriya of the royal order. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so that the Dhanush, as we know, right, was so heavy, it was carried by 300 men, which Lord Ramchandra broke in. Yeah, it says Trishato Panitam, right? Sita Ashwam Vargrihe, Trishato, like 300 people had carried that, which Lord Ramchandra picked up and broke it. And of course, then everything else is described here. Tarun?
यह सत्य पस परिविता पितुर nilesham swashratenasya kapi shirasa jagrahe sabhrayaya rajasya shriyam pranyanam suhridyo nivasam tvaktva yayo vanam sunim mukta sangram. Carrying out the order of his father, was bound by a promise to his wife. Lord Rāmacandra left behind his kingdom, opulence, friends, well-wishers, residents, and everything else. Just as a liberated soul gives up his life and went to the forest with Sita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. Vanam Suniva Mukta Sangha, like a liberated soul, he went to the forest with Sita. So read this purport, Prem.
Maharaj Dashrath had 3 wives. One of them, Kaikeyi, served him very pleasingly, and he therefore wanted to give her a benediction. Kaikeyi, however, said that she would ask for the benediction when it was necessary. At the time of the coronation of Prince Rāmacandra, Kaikeyi requested her husband to enthrone her son Bharata and send Rāmacandra to the forest. Maharaj Dashrath, being bound by his promise, ordered Rāmacandra to go to the forest, according to the dictation of his beloved, and the Lord, as an obedient son, accepted the order immediately. He left everything without hesitation, just as a liberated soul or great yogi gives up his life without material attraction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So I think we'll pause here. We'll continue to read about Lord Ramchandra, in this adhyay. But right now, let's pause. And since we are reading about Lord Ram, we are going to hear the Ram Stuti. Yeah.
रामचंद्र कृपालु भजुमन हरण भव भय दारुणम नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पग कंजारुणम कंदर्प अगणित अमित छवि नवनील नीरद सुंदरम पट पीत मानहु तड़ित रुचि सुचि नवमि जनक सुतावरम दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश निकंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम तिलक चारु उदारु अंग विभूषणम् अजानुभुज शर चाप धर संग्राम जित खर दूषणम् वदति तुलसीदास शंकर शेष मुनि मनरंजनम मम हृदय कुंज निवास कर कामादि खल दल गंजनम रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पग कंजारुणम
बोलो श्याम रामचंद्र भगवान की
जय
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
जय।
Cool. So I think we started reading about Sri Ramchandra Bhagwan, yeah, and also the holiday season is starting. So, and I'm also traveling from next week, then in India in January. So I think I have to pause now. And so everyone enjoy the holiday season, and then we'll start first week of February back. Yeah.
Okay.
And currently we are on 9th canto, and we have already completed 9 chapters. Now we'll read about Ram Bhagwan and then some more. I think we have 9-10 chapters remaining in the 9th canto. Once that is completed, which may take us a couple of months max maybe, and then we'll start the 10th canto, which is the primary canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? That's about Lord Shri Krishna, and that's the 10th canto. So hopefully soon, we'll complete our 9th canto and then start the 10th. But everyone have good holiday time, enjoy, and of course have nice food, nice visit, nice trips, healthy living. And on January 1st, we'll decide to reduce weight, all that. Anything else?
No? Happy holidays to everybody, and you have a nice, wonderful trip to India.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
All the
Happy New Year
best.
in advance.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. I'll be going to Kumbh Mela actually.
Oh.
Yeah, so hopefully I can share some pictures once I'm there. So it's the first time.
Kumbh Mela, wonderful.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Bataiya Girinder bhai, maybe I'll follow you after some time in first first week of Feb, maybe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, yeah, that'll be nice. Actually, I'll update when I'm there, see how it is. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of crowd and all that, but it seems it should be nicely managed.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see.
Do you have anybody local? You have arranged something?
I'm not
or-
local, but I have we have this Vedantiji Maharaj, right? So he has the whole place there for himself.
Okay.
So we are staying with him.
Okay.
Yeah,
He-
so they have a tent and all that. If you plan to go in February, let me know. We can talk about that. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think first week of Jan, I will be finalizing my plans. So I'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be there from 11th of January to 14th of January. 15th we'll be heading out. Yeah. In Prayag.
Yeah, no, I'll be going in the first week of Feb, so not the same time, but during the
Yeah.
period.
But if you plan to go there, we can.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Very
Cool.
nice.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And see you in February first week. We'll talk before that.
Yeah.
Hare
Namaste.
Krishna.
Safe trip.
Thank you.